Okay, we continue our converters topic. Okay, we have covered two converters. Now, so this EDI we will be not covering this in this course. Okay, so JSON to XML and XML to JSON we will see now. JSON to XML, XML to JSON. Okay. So now I want to put XML to JSON converter, right? So you all know what is JSON format, how it looks like, right? So we have covered in the file formats class. Okay. See, JSON format looks like this. This is the JSON. Yeah, suppose if you check this, so left side, whatever you are seeing is XML, right? Right side, whatever you are seeing is JSON format. Okay. So this we covered. JSON format is used. JSON format is also used to represent data and to transfer between systems. Okay. Mostly this JSON format is used by REST clients. Okay. REST is one more protocol, just like SOAP. Okay. So that REST clients and OData services, they use this JSON format to communicate. They use JSON format to transfer the data. Okay. So this is the XML, the representation. See, same data is represented in JSON format. Okay. So here we have field, and this one we were calling it as start tag in XML. In XML we call it as start tag and the respect to end tag. Okay, between start and end the data will be there. Okay, so unlike that here in JSON there is no start tag, end tag, right? So it was just the field name is just represented like this. Okay, after that colon and then the data. After every record there is a comma, right? So this is the data. This data belongs to this record. Okay, record, right? So here you need to understand what is this square bracket. There is importance for this square bracket. What is this square bracket? This square bracket tells that record is record occurrence, the occurrence of record. It tells the occurrence of record. Okay, so the occurrence of record is 1 to unbounded. I mean, the record can occur any number of times. Okay, the record can occur any number of times, right? So This we call it as in JSON array object. JSON array object. So in this case, record is JSON array object. So you know array, right? You know array? ARRAY. In coding array. In coding array means it holds more than one value. It holds more than one value. Usually it is represented like this. Okay, so it is represented like in Java, suppose equal to something like this, right? I am not following exact syntax. Okay, so this is an array, right? It looks like it has 5 values in it. Okay, similarly in JSON, the representation of array object is the square bracket. So within the square bracket, if you see, there is flower brackets separated by comma. So what it means, the first flower bracket says the one record. Okay, one record. Second flower bracket, there is a comma. See here, there is a comma. It is a separation between records. So this is second record. Second record. Okay, this is second record, right? Likewise, you can have any number of records. Suppose if your JSON is having only one record, okay, so then you don't need to maintain this square bracket. You don't need to maintain this square bracket. Suppose, see, in this particular case, this is correct. Got it? Right? It tells that record occurs only once in the file. Record occurs only once in the file, the value of that it is. If you want to represent more than one record, then only you put the square bracket. Okay, so there is a comma here, and then square bracket ends. So in between, you receive one more record. So this is how the representation of JSON looks like. Okay. Okay. So in XML, how? In XML, the occurrence of record is decided by XSD file, right? And the XSD file, if it is minimum occurs, maximum occurs, 2 tags are there. So 0 to unbounded, 1 to unbounded, 0 to 1. So based on that, the occurrence of the record will be decided, right? So now let's see how this conversion takes place here. See here. So XML to JSON converter, see. Here, use namespace mapping. So in XML to JSON converter options, use namespace Achyut. So yeah, you can create. So I am just explaining the what we say, the converter only. So I will be explaining converter locally. I'm not running end-to-end iFlow. So if you want, you can create a new artifact in your practice tenant. Okay. So otherwise, you can you all create a separate artifact for every converter. Okay, XML to CSV, CSV to XML, you create one artifact. For JSON, you create one more. Okay. So here, use namespace mapping. We cover this namespace mapping later. Okay. So JSON prefix separator. Okay. So here, XML to JSON converter, what we are doing is XML to JSON converter. So what must be the input, guys? Input to converter is what should be the input? What should be the input to XML to JSON converter?
XML.
It should be a valid XML. Valid XML. So what is the output?
JSON format.
So JSON format. Does it change any data? Data changes? Data changes or not in this conversion?
No.
Huh?
No. It not change.
No, data will not change. Okay?
No.
Data will not change. Only the format or the representation changes, but not the data. Right? Right? Clear, right? So now let's go in any converter, guys. In any converter, whether it is CSV to XML, XML to CSV, JSON, any converter, we are just changing the format. Data will not change. Okay? So right now, see here, what is, so input is XML, so output is JSON. So here it is saying JSON prefix separator, what you want. So here, what is JSON prefix separator? This one. So the converter is asking what prefix you want. Okay, you want semicolon, colon, which one you want? Which one you want? Right? So I am selecting this one only, but you have other options also, comma, dot. Okay. So standard way of representing JSON where we put colon as a prefix separator. Okay. So JSON output encoding. JSON output encoding, you can select the encoding UTF-8 or all these things, but usually we put header or property, whatever is there, that only we select. Okay. So it does not have much significance here. So suppress JSON root element. Suppress JSON root element. Okay. So suppress JSON root element means here in the XML, if you see, usually it is orders, right? Usually it is orders. It is orders. Am I correct? It is orders. It is orders. Okay, this is orders, right? So now the option here, suppress JSON root element means here, what is the root element of this XML, guys? What is the root element of this XML?
Order.
Orders. Orders is the root element of this XML. Do you want this root element in the JSON output also? Okay, you want it or not? Okay, that is what this. That is what this. Okay, suppress JSON root element. Okay, so if you select this one, in the output, 1 minute, guys, 1 minute. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this orders root element, you want it in the output or not? Okay, so that is what suppress. If you keep suppress, so the root XML root node will not appear in the JSON output. If you do not suppress, then the root node of XML will appear in the JSON. Okay, we'll check both the cases. Okay, so first of all, let's see here till here. I don't put any suppress. I don't put suppress root element. Let's see. I'm putting start, stop. Okay, so here I am giving the XML, this one. Click on OK. So do the conversion. See in the output, we haven't suppressed the root element, guys, remember. So that's why if you see, output looks like this. Here it is in single line, right? So you want it in format. So just go to JSON viewer, format JSON. Okay. So just for this JSON viewer, again, you need to go to plugins admin. Go to plugins admin. You select JSON viewer. Okay. Like this. And you will get an option here. So select that one and install. Okay. Then you get that option. See here now. You got orders. Under that there is a flower bracket. Inside that orders we have a record, right? And here if you notice, the record is shown in the output as a single one, right? See, it is a flower bracket. It is not represented as a array object. Am I correct? Record is not an array object here. Record is not an array object here. Suppose I do one thing. I take this record. Okay. See here, now I am putting one more orders node. Okay. So now I take this input and put it here. So now again run simulation. So if you, here, if you notice, okay, I am, should I paste it here only? So I am removing this for now. So you just need to remember, guys, orders record is given as a single object. It is not array. So array means there should be a square bracket, right? So it is not there. So what we'll do, otherwise I will go to new tab somewhere here itself. You see here now, record. The output shows record is an array object, right? Here it is not array object, right? So what do you understand by this? What do you understand by this? Whether record is array object or not, it is decided by input XML. If input XML contains more than one entry for the record, then converter thinks, okay, record occurrence is unbounded. It can come any number of times. Okay. So, and it inserts a square bracket here. It inserts a square bracket here. Suppose if you give only single record in the input, if you give only single record, single entry in the input XML, then JSON converter thinks, XML to JSON converter thinks, okay, record is a single entity. Okay, I will put like this. Do you see any problem here in doing this? Do you see any problem? I mean, conversion wise, there is no problem. Conversion wise, there is no problem. But end-to-end interface wise, do you see any problem? Some cases, when from input, if you receive one record, you send this format as output. Okay. If you receive more than one record, you send this format in the output. So do you see any issue here? No issue. Do you see any issue here or no issue?
I got confused. If you could explain again.
Okay. So confused means conversion wise it is clear.
Yes, conversion wise it is clear.
But the question I am asking you confused, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me explain in this way. Let me explain this way. Suppose let me take this as an interface. Okay. See now. So this is a source system, right? Source system is sending an XML format, assume. Okay. The XML format is this one. This is the XML format that source system is sending. Receiver system is expecting JSON format. Source system is sending XML format. Okay. Receiver is expecting JSON format. Simple example. Receiver is expecting JSON format. Clear? So now from in CPI, what we need to do, guys? In CPI, what we need to do?
We convert.
Yeah, we need to use XML to JSON converter, right? JSON converter. Fine, na? So this guy sends XML data. We convert into JSON and send it to receiver. Fine, right? Now my question is. So initially, source application has sent this input data, which contains two records in it. Am I right? Two records in it. Okay. So our JSON XML to JSON converter generated this output and send it to receiver. Okay, clear? Okay. Now this is the case one, which contains two records, and output also contains two records, and it went to receiver. Case one. Case two is input contains only one record. So they have sent only one record. They have sent only one record. So for one record, what is the output we got? This one. Am I correct?
Yes.
This one. So this is sent to receiver. So now in these two cases, do you see any issue? Does the receiver will accept the data, or it will raise some concern over the data received? So this is case 2 data. This is case 1 data.
The receiver will accept the data.
Receiver will accept the data. Right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else with receiver does not accept data? Anybody who says receiver does not accept data? Okay, guys, here you need to remember one thing. So when I say receiver application, it is also a system, it is also a computer, or it is also a software. It is also runs on a software. So one simple example I'll tell you. In any programming language, you define a variable called a. You define a variable called a. Define it as integer. Define it as integer. So when I say a is a variable of type integer, will you able to assign letter a to that variable? Will you able to store or assign letter a to that integer variable? Is it possible or not possible?
is possible.
It's possible. We defined A as an integer. Means A
No.
should store only integer values. But you are giving something called A. Is it acceptable?
No, not acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable.
It will not accept. It will throw an error.
It is a constant.
Yeah, incompatible types. See guys, in system or any software, when you define a variable, right? Okay, when you define a variable with some type, in the backend, in the memory, it will store respective space. It will reserve some space. Okay, it is integer. It is integer. Maybe if it is a 32-bit system, the integer values ranging from some 32,000, 28,000 or 62,000. From plus 62,000 to minus 62,000 to plus 62,000. Some range will be there. Okay. So for that, it will reserve some space in the backend. When you say it is a floating number, that is different. When you say it is a string, that is different. Okay. So that's why it will throw an error when you assign letter A to an integer. It will not be able to recognize A as an integer. A is character. System knows A is a character. So it will throw an error. You got it? So in systems or in software and all, the type of the data is very much important. The type of the data is very much important. Data type, we call it as data type. Is it integer, floating, string? Similarly, the structure. These are very basic examples. Similarly, the structure. If one software is accepting one structure, it should always accept that structure only. If you do some changes in the structure, it will throw some error. Structure incompatible, right? Something similar. So here also, if you notice clearly, in this JSON format, you are saying record is an array object because we have a square bracket here. Record is a array object. Means it contains more than one entry. But in this case, you are saying record is not an array object. It has only one entry. Okay. So you are indirectly sending two different things to the receiver. So receiver will not accept. So which one receiver will not accept? So if receiver side, that record is defined as, if record is defined as array object, if suppose receiver side record is defined as array object, then it will not accept this because here record is not an array object. You are getting right? If record is an array object, it's supposed to be represented in this format. See, like this. Even it is a single record also, it should be represented like this. Then receiver understands, yes, record is an array object. Here also record is an array object. Got it? So this is the practical problem, guys. This is the practical problem. So many people does not know how to achieve this. Okay. Receiver side, they accept array object, but source side, whenever they are sending multiple records, no, it will automatically create array object and it process. But whenever source is sending single record, then you get output like this, and it will fail. It will fail. Then receiver guy says, boss, you are not sending record as an array object. It is failing. Okay. That means what we need to do here. So what we need to do here is, here this array object or not array object is happening based on the number of records in the input. So instead of that, we need to mandatorily, or we always need to generate record as an array object. We always, irrespective of source data. So how many records are there in the source data? Irrespective of that, we should always create array object for record. Okay, how do we do that? We'll see in the next class. Please rejoin the same link. Everyone, please rejoin the same link. Everyone, guys, everyone, please rejoin the same link.